Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we have a lot of action by a battle submission from Woetmak since we're gonna showcase a double poison team. We're gonna switch at some point shadow matchup with Umbreon, so stay tuned for that. And I think the main reason for this rotation is gonna be mainly the ghost types, which are gonna be everywhere, especially this Cofagrigus. At the back we have Shadow Shiny Arbok with Shadow Shiny Mag. Are you kidding me? Double Shadow and Shiny backline for this video. We're having a lot of action here as we're gonna go down to this Umbreon, and of course now we can completely farm down with this, and the Shadow matchup will emerge victorious from this complete farm down against Umbreon. Rock Slide for cheap damage on the Cofagrigus. What do you have at the back, trainer? Because they're not switching out, gonna throw the energy, and now we can rely on the complete farm down of the crazy damage from Shadow Dragon Tail. At the back they have a matchup of their own, so much damage from those Dragon Tails and even more after the first acid spray. I believe that we can block and still be able to completely farm down, but first Woetmak here is gonna go for the acid spray, and of course right after one simple Dragon Tail will seal the deal. Math Magic will be our next opponent. I think this is the one Math Magic that is kinda famous on Twitter, something like it. Anyways, we're having here a lot of action by this Mac on the switch, and of course we have the perfect counter for this Pokemon, that being Shadow Shiny Arbok. So yeah, this shiny backline is looking pretty scary for a lot of teams, and what I like about Arbok on this meta is that it's gonna be a spicy option that the opponent will not be prepared for, and even against its counter, something like a Sunslash for example, you can still throw some heavy pressure on that Pokemon. Even against a Hypno you got Dark Pulse, and Arbok from Jesse will just go ahead and destroy down any opponent at all. So we're gonna get farmed down by this Grimer, but to be honest, even a Mud Bomb can be taken on our Mac because we're super thick, and now we can have the upper hand for the end game, or not, because they still have the shield. However, the Cross-Up will definitely take the final shield out of play, but we cannot reach the Rock Slide right on time. This is gonna be almost the CMP. They're gonna press the move right after since they are gonna go down pretty soon after. We can farm down, we have the Thunder Punch ready to go, and this Grimer now will just fall in a pretty nice way towards our net of victory. Into the next one now with the Cofagrigus up on the lead. Horrible lead scenario once again. You can see now how Woetmak wants to avoid all those ghost leads. He wants to rotate around his Mac, but obviously the main reason we're gonna rotate around Umbreon and replacing Shadow matchup is gonna be because of those ghost typing. Able to farm down right after we landed the move, which is pretty nice for us, and now we can keep going with another Dark Pulse, this time on the Shadow Mag of their own, and they are kind of enforced in using their energy. So we're just gonna go down to this acid spray. No, we're not. Let's get that final Thunder Punch before we go down. Arbok goes in, completely farming down the entire Mac, and I think this is gonna be just a Thunder Punch. Oh, it is gonna be just the acid spray. So they had perhaps no Thunder Punch at all. Perhaps it was a weird variation of Mac having acid spray and Dark Pulse. Who knows? At the back they have a matchup of their own, and we got a similar team, but ours is gonna be much better as it seems. Matsam here is gonna be able to do a lot of solid work upon the lead up against this opponent, and of course they have on the switch a ghost type, this time the Dusclops. Seeing the Dusclops going in super easy like this makes me think that perhaps they have a Cofagrigus as well, so Ice Punch is gonna connect for not big damage but still kinda threatening for the second Ice Punch, so we have to respect the damage and block of course. Right now we have a Dark Pulse ready to go, and they are gonna pop out their second shield. This is looking pretty promising. I think we can let that go through since this Ice Punch will take us out, but now they are shieldless, and our Arbok can go in, start farming down the crucial energy. Also, if they get to Poltergeist and we can block it, things can get pretty good for us since now we can have the upper hand. However, Rock Slide from Machamp can be deadly. They went for the Cross Chop, I don't know why, and we can farm down right after. So as it seems here, we have one move ready to go, not gonna throw the energy, perhaps that was intended, not sure though. At the back there is gonna be the Kofagrigus, and we can definitely outspeed to the double Dark Pulse to secure the victory with those Dragon Tails in addition for the extra damage, and Shadow Shiny Arbok will emerge victorious once again for Woetmak. For the final battles we're gonna replace Machamp with Umbreon, so let's see how this is gonna work because we're mainly aiming for those Kofagriguses up in front. So at this point we're just gonna keep going with a Dark Pulse on that Poltergeister, and of course we're expecting the Poltergeist here, I guess. No, pretty nice call on the Ice Punch, and I think that we can survive one more, but perhaps with only 1 HP remaining, not worth it since we have so much energy to spare. So Dark Pulse here will most likely get the final shield out of play, and we can still pressure them in using their remaining energy. Umbreon can go in, most probably gonna farm down completely here, and if they do not have a clear answer to our Pokemon, we can go pretty big on their team. Also, if they have something like a fighter, those last resorts are still gonna connect to those glassy Pokemon for sure. So foul play on the double, as it seems we can have kinda the upper hand here, since we can take those body slams with ease, and after they sacrifice a little bit of energy, I like this play a lot, we are gonna see the second ghost type at the back. So this is looking kinda weird for them because they had the upper hand for sure, but I don't know what happened, and right here we're just gonna keep going with those moves, able to completely farm down. Of course we have the an energy to get to the charge attack first here before they do anything weird, and double can do nothing to our two Pokemon, and of course this is gonna be an easy victory for Woetmak. Into the next one now with the Mac up in front, while Umbreon is gonna remain here as a very solid leader for the double poison. I like it a lot, and I think that it works much better than the Machamp. So double poison backline is pretty scary, and with a proper lead, well, it can get on a completely whole new level, and of course Shadow Arbok can definitely work like a pretty solid Pokemon overall. Zangoose now coming in on the switch, Acid Spray to debuff this Pokemon and probably take the shield out of them because they're even glassier than we are, and we're gonna let that go through. It is gonna be just the Night Slash. Look at how much damage we have already done, and Mac will snipe them down before they reach to even a single move. A tackle version of Munchlax, I believe here, is gonna be kinda weird for our team, but still we can do a lot of solid work with our line. Of course Munchlax is gonna be a great generalist, but only that. It cannot have like a crazy battle against any Pokemon at all. So Body Slam here, and in combination with the tackles, which are not resisted in comparison with the leaks, they might do some tricky scenarios for us, but still, well, we can tank those moves with ease, still reach that final foul play, and of course Umbreon will emerge victorious once again for our trainer. Into the final one now, and we're having Machamp up on the lead. Horrible lead scenario. This is the final battle, so let's see if Woetmak can beat this trainer down. We're gonna take a move here. It is gonna be just a cross chop. That was way too early, I believe. I did not count, but still I think that this was super early to be anything else than a rock slide, and we can go ahead and tank those moves with our Arbok. We're gonna sacrifice a shield. Okay, I see you, Woetmak. I thought we would let our Pokemon go down here, but as it seems we are not gonna do that, and Acid Spray now on whatever goes in. It is gonna be the Kofagrigus, and as it seems Woetmak did an amazing choice by shielding before, because now we have the upper hand on the alignment, and Kofagrigus will most likely have the upper hand, able to completely farm down here without any risk, without any weird scenario, and of course right after they have nothing to do up against us because Umbreon is still alive and Kofagrigus stands no chance at all. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, and of course subscribe to my channel. With that said, I have 2 videos for you to check out, so feel free to do so, and I will see you all into the next one.